Again, welcome to the webinar on getting your business started on Amazon. The first thing I want to say to you guys, and we'll start with some introductions of our hosts here, but first thing I want to say is, in my experience, and I'm sure in Chirag and Scott's experience as well, it is always the few that take the giant steps and that take the win flag. That's just the way our world works. Some of you may have heard of Pareto's rule. 20% of people make all the money. 20% of the flowers come from, or 80% of the flowers come from 20% of the seeds. That's Pareto's rule, and it's generally true for wealth. It's generally true for taking action. So congratulations to you for being in that 20%, or sometimes even 2%, but taking action. That's the first step. There's a lot of talkers and there's very few walkers. So congratulations on taking that first step, and you are well on your way. The next thing that you need is knowledge. And that's what the next 45 minutes or so is all about, is for us to give you this knowledge. Why do we want to do this? We want to do this because all three of us presenting today have been blessed and been very successful in our corporate lives, in our entrepreneur lives. And the one thing all three of us, I'm sure in unison, will tell you, we are most successful when we share with others, because that sharing, collaboration, the opportunity for partnership always comes back to us, okay? Chirag and I have done deals with Scott. Scott comes back and does deals with us. That's just the way it works. We're grateful to Scott for the deals that he brings to the table. And when we have deals, we bring opportunities to him. So we are here today to make you successful and to get you going on the first steps. If you've never done Amazon, that's okay. We're going to talk about that today. So let's do a round of introductions. So I will go ahead and start, and then I'll turn it over to my two friends. So my name again is Naeem Randawa. I am the host, and I started the Muslim Wealth Club. And I also manage Wholesale River with Chirag and Scott. And my background is corporate IT. Did that for about 17 years. And now I have walked away from all that about 3 years ago. I sold probably over $250 million, $250 million in enterprise IT, either sold it or managed. And then basically 3 years ago, I was at the top of the food chain. I was a VP at a big data company. And I decided that I had had enough and I wanted to do even bigger things. And I felt that I could do it by myself instead of in a corporate environment. So I walked away. I have been blessed since. I have about a dozen different partnerships and businesses, everything from real estate, an IT software company, an IT recruiting company, a healthcare software compliance company, et cetera, et cetera. I do all these things through partnerships. Going back to what I said earlier, nothing is achievable on your own. You need to have strategic partners, and hopefully Scott and Chirag and I can be your strategic partners, okay? So with that, I'm going to turn that over. Scott, if you want to go ahead and give us a quick background, introduce yourself, that would be great.
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. I too came from the corporate world. I have 25 years of food and beverage experience in freestanding restaurants, nightclubs, mostly hotels, as director of food and beverage. I left the corporate world a year and a half ago. I've been doing Amazon for 15, 16 months now. And I left because I had kids. I have two small children, 3 and 5 years old, and working a 60 to 70 hour work week and not being able to go to potential ballet classes or soccer games or whatever my kids were about to get into, didn't feel like I wanted to continue to live my life with my family. So I decided to go out and do my own thing, and I started Amazon 14, 15 months ago. And in that short amount of time, I've opened a prep service company on top of my own Amazon business. I also sell a lot of wholesale products, and I'm getting ready to launch a lead list service, which is an email blast that sends leads, online arbitrage leads to your email every morning. And I think that's all that I do right now. I start to lose track after a while, but that's pretty much it.
Great. Thanks, Scott. Chirag, quick introduction.
Hi guys, Chirag here, working on Wholesale River with Naeem, as he mentioned. Background is interesting because graduated with the bachelor's in bio. Wanted to go to med school, got accepted to med school. Right before wanting to go to med school, like a week before, I decided to call it off and start Amazon. And I've been doing Amazon for 2 years roughly now. I do take long vacations because it's ecom and you could be anywhere in the world and pretty much run this business. Last year I went on vacation for 3 months. This year I'll be on vacation for a total of 5 months. Um, so do take nice vacations. But the time I do work, I put out 18-hour days to work because it's work hard, play hard model for me. I went from my last bit of that student loan of $900 to close to doing $180,000 in gross sales on Amazon. And these are low value items. Okay, don't let that scare you because I did items that sold for $10, unlike shoes and other things we're going to talk about today that sell for 50 and above almost. Because if I did that, I would be in the $1 million club. But because the number of units sold are there, but it's just I did low volume, low sale price items because I didn't have a lot of money to start. So that's Amazon history for me. I do a lot of other things, including um, everything and anything related to Amazon. Everything and anything related to Amazon. So if you have any questions about anything and everything about related to Amazon, feel free to ask us in the Wholesale River group. So I think that is it, Naeem. I think that's good enough background to
Right.
get everybody started.
All right. Thanks, Chirag. So, guys, a couple of things. We have a chat window going. This webinar is totally casual. Any questions that you have, feel free to go ahead and put them in there, and we'll stop as convenient and as relevant and answer your questions. We really want to make sure that in the next 40 minutes or 45 minutes that you guys walk away with a good understanding of how to get going. Okay, so feel free to go ahead and post your questions in there. We'll either respond back by chat or on screen. So Amazon, what the hell is Amazon about? Why is Amazon interesting? What is this Prime Day? Why are people freaking out over Amazon? Let's talk about the big picture of Amazon. And I think the best way to do it without getting into all the technical details and mechanics, let's talk about what the pie in the sky is. What is the actual realistic, achievable, okay? Not somebody who's done 20 years of e-commerce, but somebody like you. Where can you be in 1 year? And I think the best way to illustrate that is to basically share some of our success. And we're going to do this not because we want to brag, although we do like to brag to ourselves because this is a big accomplishment. But we do this because this is an achievable, realistic. Three of us here started at zero in this business. Now, we may have been very successful in our corporate lives and everywhere else, but when it comes to Amazon, we all started at zero, and we are today where we are today, and we're going to talk about those numbers. So let's do a quick round robin, guys. So let me go ahead and start with myself. Like I mentioned, I have done a lot of businesses since I ventured out from the corporate world 3 years ago. I do real estate. I have properties in Dallas, in Richardson, in Florida, specifically Orlando, in North Carolina, South Africa, and then I have an IT consulting business called Square Domain, and a lot of other partnerships and businesses. I have a healthcare software company called Care Foundry, and so on and so forth. I'm in the stocks, etc. Amazon, I started last year, and I started just like you guys, trying to figure out how this all works and this and that. I took some courses, and I basically just dove in head first. And I went to the top sellers in the industry, and I paid them a lot of money to understand everything. I went to conferences, I read books, I attended tons and tons of webinars. I was just checking my numbers yesterday. So I am at about $180,000 right now in sales from last year. Um, And really, this hasn't been 12 months. I really got into it only about 5 or 6 months ago. So my numbers, my sales numbers so far on my Amazon private label account, this is just one of my accounts, is $180,000 in about 5 months, let's say 6 months. Okay, this is achievable. There's no special formula or whatever. There's a lot of learning that I inherited, but I did that by listening to people like you see over here. Okay, Chirag, you want to talk about your success and your numbers really quick? Where are you today?
Sure. So I am doing the same thing, but I am doing a little bit more draining because I am moving towards bigger and better items because I have the capital now to move on to like shoes and things that cost more so I can sell more at a higher price. I want to get to $1 million in the next 6 to 12 months. I am doing roughly about, if everything goes well, I'll be close to $250,000 by the end of this year, which is better than what I did last year. And so I do have more than one account. I try to keep my private label account a little bit different, separate from the others. And part of the other businesses that I do include helping people. Okay, so that's one of my big thing is I try to help people with PL services. I try to help people grow their Amazon businesses, educate them, and literally be there and do anything again to help people out. Okay. What do I get out of it? Again, guys, for me, more than the money, it's seeing other people grow. And as a coach, I've been coaching things for over a decade now. As a coach, that nothing feels better than seeing your students grow, and that's exactly why I love coaching. Okay, what do I want to do? Again, I want to do $1 million in sales. Okay, and that's going to happen in at least 2 businesses separately. Okay, so that's $2 million in sales by the end of next year, and I am looking good for that. I'm making way, and nothing can stop me at this point. I mean, it's there. It's just going to happen.
Good stuff. Scott, how about a rundown of your numbers?
Sure. So I started March of last year. So I've been doing this for just under 16 months now. I've launched a couple of other side businesses, the prepping company, doing the wholesale sales. And after 16 months, I'm going to be about 1.4, 1.5 million. Which 40 or 50% of that is on my personal Amazon account, and then the other 40 or 50% is the other projects I have going on that are all Amazon related.
So Scott's kind of like the vet over here. He's got a few months over us, right?
Yep. It's the exponential growth is crazy.
Yep.
You start to roll that money back into the business, and it just compounds on itself, and it happens very, very fast.
So let's put that into perspective. And there's a couple of questions that I want to get to as well that are coming up in the chat, which is great, guys. Keep bringing the questions in. We're going to answer them. But I want to just put these numbers into perspective. So I have a friend of mine here in Austin, and he's got a corporate job like many other people. I'm sure like many people on the chat, like we've had corporate jobs. And he actually made an acquisition this year. He bought a franchise, and he's super excited about it. And I'm super excited about it for him. I'm not trying to be critical. I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing, but I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a comparison, okay? So a lot of my friends have businesses. So they are opening up a hair cutting place, a barber shop. I'm not sure what you call it, but a place like Fantastic Sam's or one of those places you go get a haircut, okay? And again, this is a good friend of mine. They're going to be investing about $500,000. And it's taking them about 6 months, I think maybe even more, maybe 8 months to get this business going. It's a brand new build, okay? So they have architects in there, and they have all kinds of things going on. For 8 months, they're going to be building this business. There's about 3 or 4 partners, and they're putting in about $500,000. And this is a good deal. You can't, go around building a property for $500,000, but it's a good deal because it's a little bit out of town. It's in a growing community, so on and so forth. Their ROI is not even going to be considered or looked at for the first 12 months. Like you can't, I can't talk to them about profit. So their ROI is measured in 5 years. So just put that into perspective. Now, Chirag got into this with very little capital. Scott probably got into this with very little capital, and so did I. Even though we could have all thrown a lot of capital at this, it's just not really needed. You know, if we offered you 10 amazing deals today, and even if you had the money to take all 10 deals from us, you wouldn't be able to handle it. You have to take a baby step. You have to put your first deal up. You have to learn from it. You have to optimize it, and then maybe next time put in 2 deals, because now you know how to do the listing faster and you know how to do PPC better and so on and so forth. So you don't need a whole lot of capital to get into this business. And there is just hands down, there is no other business that I know of in this world, forget America, just in this world, that you can get into with very little capital and ROIs of 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. It's just insane. So when I started with what the hell is the big deal with Amazon, that's why smart people are flocking to Amazon, because they recognize this crazy return. All right. And again, you guys are in that 2%. You guys are elite. You're taking steps. You're action takers. So by the end of this call, we want to make sure that we give you the opportunity to go ahead and take the action on your first deal. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be announcing some deals at the end of the webinar that you can go ahead and purchase. So let me kind of walk through that a little bit. We're going to jump into a specific category that we want to talk about today that Scott has a lot of expertise in, and Chirag and I are actually also investing. So we're going to be investing along with you in these deals with Scott. Okay, and Scott and we go back quite a ways now, so we've done tens of thousands of dollars in business already. So everything that we offer, we're going to be stepping into this with you. The way that this is going to work is we're going to spend a few minutes understanding the category, understanding the deal, walking through the entire deal from start to finish, so you understand all of the steps on how you can win this deal and get your business going. And then at the end of that, at the end of the webinar, we're going to go ahead and release a few of those deals. In the Wholesale River group, if you guys have been hanging out there, you know that when we list a deal, it's gone in under a minute, okay? But because you're attending this webinar, you will have a chance before the other 500 plus people to grab these deals. We are going to put more out there, but you can be the first ones to immediately jump on this. So the category that we're going to talk about today is shoes. I'm sorry, we talked about shoes on Friday. Purses, okay? And we are super excited about this because there's some really, really unique things, some really unique selling points about purses and getting into this. So with that, Scott, let me turn it over to you. Let's talk about why purses, what's the ROI on purses, why is this so much better than, you know, Lego toys or whatever. And it's not necessarily one is better than the other, it's just that this is a unique selling opportunity that you can jump in on. It's difficult for you to just go to target.com and buy a purse and sell it, okay? But to find wholesale deals on purses is a rare opportunity. So with that, Scott, why don't you give us some background on purses and your perspective on this and where you're going with this?
Absolutely. So purses, so if you're ungated in shoes, you're automatically ungated in purses. You're also ungated in sunglasses. That's the category. It's shoes, purses, sunglasses. The reason I like purses and shoes is because it's a gated category. It's harder to get into. Most people won't take the time to get ungated. Therefore, you have less competition. The thing I like about purses over shoes is that people tend to be even more I
think Scott's window just froze.
brand loyal.
Scott. Oh, okay, you're back. We lost you for a second. Scott, are you there?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I think you're back now.
Okay.
All right. We lost you in the last 15 seconds.
Okay, no problem. I'll back up a little bit and start again. I was saying that one of the things that I like about purses is that people tend to be very brand loyal with respect to purses. And the same thing with shoes and the same thing with clothes is there's so much product that gets released to the market on an annual basis because they launch whole new lines of stuff, new colors, new patterns, new styles, new materials. So you end up with this huge product diversity, and you find that, and one of the reasons that people stay out of shoes and clothes is you find that a lot of stuff's not listed, so you have to create listings. You end up not having a lot of rank. You don't have, or you have dormant listings that don't have rank or have dropped rank significantly because there hasn't been any activity on that listing in a while. Since people are very specific about purchasing the purses, you typically get keyword searches like black Michael Kors or red Mark by Mark. And if you have a listing that has little or no rank, has very little activity on it, you're still going to show most likely on the first page of that listing because somebody's looking for a specific brand in a specific color, and there's not a lot of competition in the category. So you don't have to do a lot of pay-per-click ads like you might have to with shoes or clothes that have very little rank or very little impression activity on the listing. So purses, I feel like they have an advantage over shoes and clothes in that respect because it's very easy to identify the keywords that are going to be used, and you won't have to run necessarily as many pay-per-click ads and whatnot to be able to drive sales or impressions to that listing. All you got to do is either activate an old listing that doesn't have any current inventory on it, or create a new listing, which listing creation really isn't very complicated if you just do the basic requirements that you need, which I find is enough in shoes, purses, and a lot of times clothes as well.
So I want to answer a few questions as they're coming in. Scott, you covered a couple of things here. Can you explain ungating?
Oh, absolutely. So when you start up your Amazon account, your professional account or your free account, you have a certain number of categories that you're allowed to sell in. And the other categories you need to get approval from Amazon to sell in. And a lot of times it's about answering some questions, maybe showing proof that you have access to products by either sending in invoices of products that you've already purchased that are in that category. You'll have to answer some questions about how to create listings a lot of times, especially clothes and shoes, because they want to make sure that you understand the picture requirements and the listing requirements for those particular categories. And then Amazon will put your request under review, and then they'll either deny or grant you access to those particular categories. Shoes, purses, it's called shoes, handbags, and sunglasses is a category that is gated when you first get your Pro account, your Amazon Pro account, and you have to apply and get special permission in order to sell in that category. But once you're ungated, you're ungated. It takes a little bit of work, and like I said, most people don't necessarily take the action to get ungated in those categories. So it gives you a huge advantage over a lot of other sellers.
Great. A couple of other questions here. So let's see. Jesse is asking, if you have an Amazon account starting from zero, what are the most important things to do to begin generating sales? So I can answer that. I think one of the hardest things for most new sellers is finding product to sell, because you see all these crazy numbers, right? Like we're sharing some of these crazy numbers. Like, man, I made 30% ROI or 50% return. Well, where do you get that product? That is the biggest dilemma. And there are services out there that you can get these products, but the hardest thing to find is a trustworthy resource. And I can tell you, excuse me, and Scott can tell you, there's horror stories out there. You can buy huge lots from these different online websites and this and that, but you don't know what you're getting, and you're dealing with a nightmare. So with Wholesale River, we've kind of built a trusted network and a trusted group, and that was the whole purpose of developing Wholesale River. So we are offering all of these products, and everything that we offer, and when I say we, I'm talking about Scott and every other deal that we offer is 100% guaranteed. Okay, and that's worth repeating. All deals that we offer are 100% guaranteed. So if you buy a shoes lot, a purse lot, or anything else, that means that we've looked at the product, we've inspected it. Scott takes, his team takes 3 pictures of every pair of shoe. So everything is guaranteed. So we are a trusted resource, and that's why we're having, people join our group every day like crazy. So to answer your question, yes, be careful who and where you get your product from. Let's see, there's another question here. You said we need to have, Mohammed is asking, you said we need to have strategic partners and mentors. There are people selling these services online. How can you select the genuine ones that actually want to help you? So again, same thing here, Mohammed, ask around in the group, who's bought a deal from Scott? Who's bought a deal from me or Chirag? Talk to them about their experience. That's the number one way to know if somebody's trustworthy or not, is somebody that has actually already done business with us. Okay, really simple. It's not a mystery. Let's see. We talked about ungating, and let's see. Okay. But if we have good sources with you guys, what's the next thing? Okay. So Jesse's like eager to get started. So let's talk about the next step of the deal and where do we go from here. All right. So shortly, we are going to announce a couple of deals, and what do you need to do? What's the sequence? So let me kind of walk through this, and Scott, feel free to jump in if I miss anything. So the way this is going to work, guys, is we will list on Wholesale River all of the details that you need about this. So let's take an example. We will put a link to the manifest, which is basically the list of the inventory of purses, and our opening lots are going to be at $500. For $500, basically, we're going to put, 20, maybe 30 purses in that lot, right? Yeah, so 20 to 30.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, 20 to 30 purses. We're not going to sell you $5 purses. You're not going to make money on that. And we're not going to sell you $600 purses, obviously, because those are two extremes, and it's harder to make sales. They're less frequent. Or maybe the $5 ones, they're very high frequency, but you don't make any money. But we're going to give you the optimal price range for purses. So for $500, we're going to give you about 20 or 30 purses. These have all gone through Scott's hands or his team's hands. They inspect them, they take pictures, and these are all new. So these are not, damaged or anything like that or used. These are all brand new merchandise that you're going to sell. You take a look at the description that we put in the bid. It includes the manifest, so you'll see exactly what the purse is. You can go do your research. You'll get the cost of the bid for the lot. You will also be able to look at the rank on some of these. Now, some of these don't have rank, okay? But if it's a Michael Kors purse and it's not available on Amazon, like Scott explained, it's a Michael Kors purse, and people are going to be searching for that. So this is a little bit different, but again, we're doing thousands of dollars of sales on this stuff every day. You can run some PPC, and there's some strategies you can get into, but basically that's the step. Analyze the lot, and then what we typically do is we list the information for you to study, and we give you enough time, 12 hours the day before, and then the next day we announce when that deal is going to be live, and when it's live, the first person to say yes wins that bid. From that point on, you basically pay for the product, and then Scott's team does the prepping and the shipping and sends it into your Amazon account. At that point, the product is yours to go ahead and sell, and you list it and you sell it. We also have a lot of useful and helpful videos and links in the Wholesale River group. In the top pinned post, okay, the post that's all the way at the top. If you click on more, you'll see a bunch of training and a bunch of links in there. So you want to get yourself educated on that, okay? So just to summarize the steps, we put up a lot of $500. We'll probably have more, maybe $1,000 later. We put that up on the website. You study it, do your homework, look at all the numbers, look at everything that we're presenting. You bid on it. Hopefully you win it. You're the winner. You make your payment, and then we process everything. So this is all done for you. Whether you're in England or, South Africa, whatever, you could be anywhere around the world. That's the beauty about this whole thing. These are all done for you. You never physically have to touch the products. I don't touch products at all. All my stuff just is handled by prep and ship companies. Scott's got an amazing team, and he's got a warehouse in San Diego. They take care of everything for you. Okay, so that's kind of the whole process of how it all works. Anything I missed in there, Scott, or anything you want to add in there?
No, not really. I think after the sale, there'll be an email that goes out that explains how to make your payment and how to give us inventory level access to your account so that we can upload your inventory, print out your merchant SKUs, apply those to the product, then we package them up, we create the shipment for you in your account, and then we send it in. So there will be an inbound shipping charge that Amazon will charge you for the products going in. Most of the time, shoes and purses out of my warehouse into Amazon are around 40 cents a pound. So it's still a really good rate. It's not too bad.
All right, that sounds good. So guys, I'm going to give you a link right now in chat. You can click on this and take a quick look. So this is, let me see if it went through.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. So guys, this is an example of an actual purse that Scott's team is taking or making available for us, okay? So you can see, now I'm not a purse guy, I couldn't tell you the different brands or whatever, but Scott says this is a high-end brand, Gianni Bernini, and it sells fast. Now you can also search for that particular brand on Amazon, so I'm going to do that really quick. Okay, so if you do
the
it,
source. Sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say the brand names and the purses from my vendor. I have a contract with a very large retail chain that anchors probably almost every mall across the country, and they sell medium to high end purses. They don't sell any low end stuff. I do have access to the premium purses as well, but I find that they don't sell on Amazon quite as quickly because they start retail at $300 and go up to like $1,200. So I tend not to buy those. I buy these kinds of purses, which are like Naeem said, kind of middle of the road, but they're still high end, high quality, brand new.
Yeah, don't tell my wife about those $1,200 purses, Scott.
Yeah, I that's why I don't buy them, because my wife will be in my warehouse looking for them.
Yeah. Right. Okay, sounds good. But that makes sense. We want to be where the most demand is in terms of the product, and that kind of middle to upscale is really where the best demand is, right? So that makes a whole lot of sense. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so guys, we've kind of gone over the process. We've explained the way the deal works, and I want to open this up to Q&As, and then we're going to go ahead and close out the webinar. So any questions on this process, on the purses category, anything that you want to know, go ahead and get your questions in over the next few minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and close out the webinar, okay? So I'll give you guys a minute to do that. Yeah, so Chirag had to step away, no worries.
Looks like Tim had a question that was just under Jesse's there about having to run pay-per-click ads. So yeah, you may have to. I find that these tend to sell more quickly than shoes in an unranked scenario. So if it was a newly created listing or a listing that's been dormant for a while that doesn't have rank, I find that they sell quite a bit more quickly than shoes because there's no size variations. So, somebody might find a shoe that you have and you only have a size 8 and they're like, oh, well, I'm a size 7, so I can't buy it. You don't have that situation with purses, so there's less variation. And then if somebody's searching for a red mark by mark purse, like I said, typically you're going to show up on the first page just because of the amount of competition and the number of purses out there. So you may end up having to do a pay-per-click ad on a few, but I find that I do less pay-per-click ads on purses than I do shoes.
So this is an interesting question, and I'm assuming, Gary, that you're just trying to be funny. So Gary's
I hope it
asking,
is.
are these, yeah, I hope so. Are these knockoff purses?
No, um, if
Do you want to, so Scott, do you want to put your $1.5 million at risk by selling a knockoff purse?
no, no, no. I have a paperwork trail that goes back to the retailer to show that it doesn't go back to the manufacturer, but it does go back to the retailer. And anybody if we have a authenticity issue, which we've had before, not because they were inauthentic, but because if a customer says, "Hey, I bought this and this isn't a Michael Kors purse," then Amazon flags it. If they see that one or two times in a short period of time, and they take authenticity very seriously, then they will ask you to prove it. When that happens, then I get involved with whoever bought the product from us, and this happens in shoes and purses. And we provide documentation to show Amazon that these are authentic and that they have been purchased through a proper supply chain.
So just to reiterate, because I know there was some recent articles actually about more counterfeit products hitting Amazon. So, kidding aside, this is very serious. You can have your account banned basically by Amazon because you're selling knockoffs. So this is very, very important to address. And as Scott said, you've got two layers of security and protection. Scott backs up every single thing that he sells and gives you the authenticity papers. He can, if it comes down to it and there's a question that's raised, Scott's got that covered with documentation directly from where everything is coming from. Number one. Number two, Shirag and I personally guarantee 100% everything that we sell. So look, I'll give you guys an example. We had a deal that went sideways, and it wasn't because the product was a knockoff, but it was because the listing was incorrect. The UPC code on this particular product was incorrect, and so the numbers were thrown off. The buyers approached us and they said, "Look, we bought this deal, but it doesn't match the listing. It's the only time this has ever happened." And I think the total cost of both these orders that were involved was about $14,000. We turned around and give a full refund to both buyers. Okay, so our reputation is at stake. Scott's reputation is at stake. We don't mess around when it comes to anything that is, remotely close to being a knockoff or anything like that. Not only would your account get shut down, but probably mine, Scott's as well. And we don't play that. So there's not even any issues there. All right, a couple of other questions here. So Gary's happy with the response, so rest assured with that. And let's see, where are they manufactured? Do we create a listing from scratch, or is it just there in the line provided earlier? Okay, so as far as where they're manufactured, I'm going to guess, but Scott's the expert. I'm going to say Italy, China, all over the place. I'm going to guess. Is that right?
Go to the Michael Kors website. Go to Mark by Mark website. Go to 9 West website. Wherever they manufacture their products, that's where they're being manufactured. I doubt that. I mean, these are international companies. Most of these. I doubt that they're being manufactured in the United States. I would imagine most of them are India, China, wherever a lot of your textiles come from.
Another question, what is the best way to get initial reviews to launch the business once we sell the $500 lot of the purses? Do we buy the same lot again, or do we get a new deal and we have to market it from zero again? So again, I'll turn this over to Scott, but I will say, guys, this is not a private label product. You don't have to get reviews. All you need is PPC. So people know what a Michael Kors purse is. So it's not like you have to get a review of a Michael Kors purse. As long as they see your ad, they're going to buy it. They're buying it on the brand name. Scott?
Yeah, brand recognition is huge in the purse world. These are major companies. They're running their own marketing campaigns. Brand recognition is not an issue with a lot of these products. So if somebody's going on looking for a purse, they're searching for the brand that they want, just like they would for shoes. If you want Nike shoes, then you type in Nike and you get a list of Nikes. Well, same thing with the purses. If you want a 9 West purse, you type in 9 West, and you're going to get a list of all the 9 West purses. So you don't have to worry about trying to solicit reviews. These are not replenishable. So once we get these in, we rarely get duplicates, which is a good thing I think is a good thing, because now you don't have to either sell 10 of them, or you don't have to worry about 9 other people coming on that listing with you.
Right.
And then you sell through it and you get another lot, and the lot will look completely different from the last one.
Yeah, and that's good. That answers that other question that came up about, do we have to buy another lot? Yeah, you're just basically replenishing. And the turnaround time, by the way, the life cycle, nobody asked that question, but I think it's important, is something like this. And Scott, I'm going to let you chime in here. Today, you buy a $500 lot for purses. You get about 25, 30, 35 purses, depending on each, whatever it comes out to. You go ahead and pay for it tomorrow, day after. It takes a day or two to get that processed. Once that's done, then Scott's team in San Diego goes to town. They prepare it for you. They connect with you. They get all the information for your shipping to Amazon. That can take another week, maybe 2 weeks at the most. Depends on your speed and how quickly you can get that information to Scott. Once it's listed, your turnaround time to put that money back in your pocket, your investment and your ROI, is going to be 1 to 2 months. And I think that's a conservative estimate. The more you do it, the faster that you get, because you understand and you know how to do these things. But 1 to 2 months is typical for the deals that we're doing with Scott on our purses. Is that a reasonable? Do you agree with that timeline, Scott?
Yeah. The timeline is different for everybody, because really it depends on how quickly you get back to us. So once you make the purchase, then we don't release the purchase until you've obviously paid. So however long it takes you to pay. Then after you pay, simultaneously while you're paying, you'll get an email that says, "Here's how you do permissions." Then you'll do the permission is a 2-step process. So you'll put in, per the video and instructions we send you, you'll put in the email address that we provide you, and then that prompts an email from Amazon. It's a blind email from Amazon to me, and then I click on a link that generates a code. I send that code back to you, and then you activate my permissions once you receive that code. So there's 3 things that you'll have to do. One is you'll have to make payment. The other thing is you have to send that email, which gives the code, and then you have to go back in and edit the permissions. Now, typically, when you send the code to us, my team will respond within 1 business day is the typical response time. So if you send it on Friday, Monday morning, we'll see the email, we'll generate the code, we'll send it back to you. And then we usually send within 24 hours of receiving access to your account. So we'll send the code back to you. You'll go in, you'll edit the permissions, and you'll say, "I've edited your permissions, you're all set." And then within 1 business day, we'll have uploaded those and put them in a box and sent them out to UPS. These are products that I already have in my warehouse. The products are already prepped, pictured, ready to go. The only thing that I need to do is to be able to get into your account, upload your inventory, and then put them in a box per Amazon's instructions. Sometimes they'll say, "Okay, of these 20 purses, we want 10 to go to this warehouse and 10 to go to this warehouse, or we want all 20 to go to this warehouse." So at that time, we'll put them in a box, and then we'll put in dimensions, print out shipping labels, and we'll send them into you. So turnaround time on my end really is 2 business days. 1 to get the code or to get into your account, and 1 to package everything up.
All the listings are created by you, Scott?
So we do a couple of different things. It depends on what it is, and so like with shoes, we don't like to have usually more than 20% of the product as brand new listings, just because brand new listings on shoes are a little bit more difficult to move. On purses, brand new listings and shoes, there doesn't seem to be a really negative effect on purses not having a high rank because I think of keyword searches and whatnot. So you'll see sometimes 50 or 60% of the first lot that doesn't have rank. Now that rank could be having no rank could be because of one of two reasons. It could have been a dormant listing, a listing that hadn't had inventory associated with it in a very long time, and when we fired it back up, it didn't have sales history that was relevant currently. It did have sales history in the past, but it doesn't currently, so you'll see no rank for it. Or it'll be a listing that we created, which is brand new and obviously has no rank because it has no sales history. Honestly, you're not going to be able to tell the difference if it's a listing that we created or if it's a listing that was dormant that we fired back up, unless you know our processes very well. I can look at pictures and tell you if it's a picture we did and modified or not. But yes, everything will have a listing, whether it was ranked in there, whether it was dormant and reactivated, or whether it was a listing we created for.
Awesome. So guys, let's go ahead and talk about the two lots. So Chirag, you wanna post them now in Wholesale River, or you want to do it within the hour? Okay, so Chirag's going to post them now. So for you guys, here's the link to the Wholesale River group. Okay, and we're monitoring that right now. You want to go ahead and join that group first of all. I'm assuming all of you probably are. Most of you already are. And Chirag is going to go ahead and add those two lots. Here's what we're going to do. Everybody in this webinar has priority. Okay, so he says post it. So let me just refresh my page. Okay, Gary Lewis wants to join. Gary, you are in. Mohammed, you are in. So both you guys are in the group now. Okay, here we go. So both lots are listed for $500. Here's what we're going to do. And again, you can see all the details in there. All right. The first person to go ahead and hit yes gets it, but you're making a commitment. Ali says, I'll take them both right here. So Ali, let me finish. So guys, please make sure that you understand the lots, okay? There's a lot to go around. Don't feel this is a one-time deal, because what last thing we want is for you to say yes and then you can't take it because you're not gated, all right? So please follow the rules, make sure you understand, get educated. This is not a sprint, this is a long-term marathon, okay? So number one, make sure you're ungated in purses. If you're ungated in shoes, you're already ungated in purses. So that's number one. You can't buy it if you can't sell it, right? There's no point. Number two, read the post, read the details that we have in there, okay? Make sure you're comfortable with everything. Make sure you understand how the deal works. We don't want to have to ban people from buying from us because they don't follow rules, okay? So read that, and then if you're good with it, go ahead and say yes. And the first person to say yes, we'll go ahead and get them. We always do it that way just to be fair. Now, both are taken now. Okay. You guys aren't even letting me finish, explaining it. But that's great. That's great. Again, action takers, I love it. It's people like you that just make our day and that get into these amazing partnerships with us. So let's see, who said yes first? So Ahmed Ali said yes first. So congratulations, Ahmed. I'm assuming you are ungated in purses, handbags, and that's good. And then Alicia, congratulations. You said yes. Remember, you have to sell these, Alicia. You can't keep them. All right. I know your husband. You have to sell them and make some money. They're not for personal use. All right. So both lots are already taken, which is great. So that's fantastic, guys. You guys are definitely taking initiative. We have, I believe, two more, but I think we're going to hold off on those other two until tomorrow. Now, for those of you that have missed this opportunity, let me give you some other opportunities to jump in. Like I said, number one, we're going to be listing a few more. Chirag, can you confirm, are you going to do those tomorrow or day after? Okay, I think he's saying tomorrow. Okay, so you're going to have an opportunity tomorrow. And the way this is going to work is Sharad will actually list those 2 lots today so that you can take all night. You know, you'll have plenty of time to research them. We want to make sure you guys have your homework time. And then tomorrow at a announced time, usually we do it around 10 o'clock Central Standard Time in the morning or 11 o'clock. We then announce, hey, we're about to go live, and the first person to say yes, just like we did today, okay? So you have another opportunity with that tomorrow. The other option is we do have folks that have access to a little more capital, and we do this for shoes, and we're going to do this for purses as well. Custom lots, absolutely, like Chirag just said, okay? So if you want to get into this heavy, and you want, you know, you've got the capital, and some people do, then you can come in at $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. We have people doing it in all these ranges. And they, you know, this is for people who don't want to necessarily wait every day to try to catch a deal. They're busy, whatever it is, right? They just want to get to the point and say, hey, you know, Naeem, Scott, Chirag, guys, you know, here's a $5,000. I want a lot and I want to jump into it. We can do custom lots. Just reach out to me privately or Chirag privately, and we will make the arrangement. We do this all day long. We've got a few customers that are $1 million sellers, and we're supplying them on a regular basis with huge lots of shoes. What's the size on those lots, Scott? The shoes, the big lots that you're doing, the custom ones?
Oh, right. We're just finishing up. We'll finish shipping out this week a $25,000 shoe lot.
Yeah, $25,000. So again, it's not for everybody, and you know we have different sellers at different levels. But our mission is to take you guys who are starting at the $500 lots, and 6 months from now, a year from now, to make you one of these custom lot guys or gals who can do this. All right. Okay. Well, good webinar, man. Lots of excitement. I'm excited. I know Scott's excited. Chirag can't seem to contain his excitement. He's screaming hell yes and sweet and holy smokes. That's great. So guys, any more questions? Now's the time to get them in. We are coming up at the hour, and I want to just make sure we keep it at an hour and not go overboard. So now's a good time to go ahead and get them in. Tim Hires, maybe I can try a $1,000 lot if you guys have those. So Tim, let's connect after the webinar. Just reach out to Chirag, and he'll make that arrangement for you. Again, we can accommodate that. That's not a problem. So a lot of great stuff that we covered, and let me just summarize and close out the webinar. Let me pause the recording, or I'll pause it in a minute. So again, guys, purses can be very, very lucrative. Scott, Chirag, and myself are doubling down on with our own capital, with our own investments, with our own money. Like I said, we're going to be selling this for you, with you, okay? Lots and lots of opportunity. It's a bit of a different animal than shoes. Brand name recognition means that people are going to search for Michael Kors or whatever other brand names. You're not having to do private. You're not having to do reviews and things like that. People are either searching for it or they're not. The nice thing about it is these companies spend tens of millions of dollars of advertising, and you're just writing that. You're leveraging that. Okay. We're going to have a lot more lots becoming available starting tomorrow, and we're also going to do custom lots. Congratulate yourselves for being the action takers, for being the few that get up off the wall, and you're taking the steps that Scott has taken, Chirag has taken, and I've taken. Okay. So again, we're looking for strategic partners long term. It's not a sprint. It's not a race. This is a long-term marathon, and we're in it together. And we want to see you guys be successful. All right, Scott, why don't you just list all these yourself? Betting you have done everything. Yeah, Gary, I'm not sure what you mean by. Why doesn't he just sell everything himself? Because we don't want Scott to be greedy like that. Okay. We want some of that love from Scott.
Actually, it is kind of about me, Gary.
It's a good question, Scott. Why are you sharing this?
Because I could sell like just last week, I had somebody call me up and say, I need 1,500 pairs of shoes. I could sell those 1,500 pairs of shoes in one phone call, or I could take a month or a month and a half and sell those on Amazon. So yes, those 1,500 shoes that I sold in one phone call have a much lower profit margin, usually four or five times lower than what I get on Amazon. But what I make up in profit dollars by selling them a lot faster. So the wholesale side of the business, I can sell one big huge bulk of shoes. It cuts down on my labor quite a bit because they're all going to one person, and then I don't have to wait a month or two to sell that same number of shoes on my Amazon account. And I'm still selling that number of shoes on my Amazon account. So I'm selling them on my Amazon account, at the retail price, and then I'm also selling them wholesale in large quantities.
There's a lot of love to go around, guys. There's a lot of love to go around. That's the beauty about Amazon, the #1 e-commerce site in the world. Scott can't possibly sell the inventory that he has access to. I can't sell everything that I can get from Scott. I mean, you're talking about billions of products being sold on Amazon every year. So we can't possibly sell everything that that we have access to. So when we share it, when we make you successful, like I said, we are successful as well. Okay. All right, so I'm getting some messages for requests for custom products. It looks like we've got about 4 or 5 people who are jumping on the custom lots of $2,000, $2,500, $5,000. So that's great, guys. That's the way to do it. Is just take action, which is exactly what we started the call with. So we are super excited to be in this with you, and we want to see you guys succeed. We want to see you guys make some good money. All right. So any last questions? Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and break this off. Oh, there's a couple of comments here. David Farkas, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is saying, hey, by the way, I think I may have bought from you, Scott, several lots. Is this the same Scott? Yeah. I don't know, Scott, if you remember David Farkas or not. Yeah. Scott does sell a lot, so.
Farkas, is that how you spell it?
Farkas, yeah.
I'm searching my database for his name.
Okay, in the meantime, I'll answer another question.
I do not see him in here. I do not have a David in my database. So no, I don't think it was me that you bought from.
Okay, all right. Jesse's asking, so because there aren't too many multiples, that means the price won't race to the bottom like a lot of Amazon listings. Absolutely. And that's a big reason why we're excited about this and why Scott has been doing this and is expanding his investment into this, is because you don't have 25 people selling the same damn Lego set that every kid wants, right? It's a purse. It's a Michael Kors purse. So it has the built-in attributes for demand, but it doesn't have the 19 sellers on it. So so lots and lots of excitement about that you're not racing to the bottom. You're not trading pennies or, trading off sales for that. So that really, really makes it exciting. Okay. Ahmed Ibrahim says, Naeem loves his hair like that, Chirag. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure where that came from, but yeah. Yeah, my wife is yelling from the other room about, she's saying, cut my hair. Okay. Naeem is avoiding my question. So what did Chirag say? Oh, Chirag says, Naeem, when are you getting a haircut? Have you been talking to my wife, Chirag, or what, dude? You're supposed to be on my side, man. So I will cut my hair, Chirag, when you buy a couple of man purses from Scott.
I don't have any man purses, unfortunately. There's
when
not
you
enough
start
sales volume in man purses.
Yeah. When you start walking around with a man purse, Chirag, I will cut my hair. He may just go out and get one because of that. Sonia says she will buy you a man purse. All right, guys, this has been a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm super excited. This is going to be killer, guys. So again, thank you very much for your time. This session was recorded. I will make this available for those of you that couldn't attend. And again, lots of potential, lots of deals going on. Scott, thank you so much for your time, man. I know you're super busy running your prep and ship company, your own Amazon businesses. I know you got a big empire, man. We all look up to you. We all want to be you when we grow up. So thanks again, and we'll have Scott back. You know, he kind of comes and hangs out with us. Again, let's get started. Let's start our entrepreneurial business, whether we have full-time jobs and we want to do this on the side or whatever it is. The sky is the limit with Amazon. And congratulations on the lot winners and everybody else. We are available in Wholesale River on Facebook. Friend us, you know, all that good stuff. And one last thing, guys, very, very important. The more people we have to join Wholesale River, the more deals and volume that we can bring to the table. So please share this webinar, share the link for Wholesale River across your networks to other business groups that you're in. We really, really would appreciate that. That's the one thing that we always ask, all right? All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and we will talk soon. Have a good one.